In November 1956, the first 22 immigrant families arrived from Morocco and in essence founded the city of Ashdod. 1 year later, there were 370 families there, and today, in a city with a population of over 200,000, a dangerous process of economic polarization has evolved, simultaneously with welcome development. There are wealthy families alongside socioeconomically disadvantaged ones. Thank God, no Jew is left uncared for. The Tihila Lidud education system embraces all age groups, from early childhood to adulthood. It has set itself the lofty goal of supporting and educating all strata of the public, particularly the weaker groups. Study and education. These are the means for reinforcing all strata, and especially the disadvantaged strata. All the institutions of religious education we established, first and foremost, consider the educated person as their primary objective. A person who behaves in a civil manner, as befitting a mortal human being. Wisdom begins with a thirst for knowledge, understanding that is beyond our reach without Torah and ethics, without guidance. We seek to bring up our children to be upstanding adults, following the well-trodden path of our ancestors. But what is the reality? Everyone agrees it is better to build more classrooms for children than prison cells for adults. We began 25 years ago. We have students from the former Soviet Union, from Ethiopia, and from Iran. This mix of cultural students is very demanding, particularly because of the increasing ongoing budget cuts by the authorities and government ministries. I have learned much from my rabbis, more from my colleagues than my rabbis, and from my disciples more than anyone. Education is the next process in preparing the student for his future life, without sacrificing his life in the present. The gloomy spirit will not learn wisdom. A hungry man is like a beast of prey. Once he has eaten, he is as gentle as a lamb. And how can I put this delicately? Everything is ultimately governed by the stomach. The food you ate yesterday does not satisfy you today. There is no Torah without flour. Many people ask me why I have taken on the heavy responsibility of this feeding project. They say, surely the education and teaching responsibilities must be enough for you. But anyone with any understanding and insight into education knows that you can't instill learning in a child if his stomach is empty. That's why I see the feeding project as one of the most important activities at our institution. The statistics indicate that more than 500,000 children suffer from terrible poverty. The feeding project we created and which we want to expand and develop is exactly what is needed now. We pray to God that we will not lack the means we need, and we will find the sources of funding we need to provide the children with the food they need. I want to appeal to anyone with a sensitive heart to come forward and to give and help, to be a partner, so that these children can get the basic needs they need to develop, so that they progress and march forward to a better spiritual and economic future. It took us 10 years to build this building, We built it brick by brick, painstakingly, until, thank God, we have what you see. But you can also see what we haven't managed to finish yet, what still needs improving, whether we're talking about developing the yard, or improving classrooms which still don't have the basic equipment the students need, or the kindergartens which still use flimsy huts. The institution manages to take care of regular expenses, but there are things that do not come into the category of routine costs. The rabbi has decided that it is not dishonorable to raise funds for the children. 400 pairs of eyes are fixed on you. Rabbi Shimon does not represent himself and is not interested in advancing his own interests. He is a servant to these children, the rabbi's babies. A rabbi has a heart as big as a hall, and he instructs us to embrace the child and the family in all senses. He is my spiritual father. He is a second father to the children, and sometimes he is like a real father. By virtue of the rabbi, the entire teaching staff is hard at work 30 hours a day, and don't ask how they manage it. The great luminary Rashi said that a man's disciple is as dear to him as his own body.
Oh, yeah,